Film is a bit tricky art. Why? Because unlike other arts, it's not enough just to have a great idea. We need all other things to make this idea come true. In simpler terms, we need a certain budget, which can often be a key reason why we don't make a film in the end, because we can do everything as we want. I must mention that this is primarily for those of you who are still at the beginning, or for those of you who have reached a stage where it's simply difficult for you to make a film. Well, stop overthinking. This is actually the most important advice for beginners in filmmaking, because it can easily happen that you think too much about many things, and in the end, time passes and you don't shoot anything. This is what cost me a lot of unfinished films. I would often get a good idea and get to work, but then I start thinking too much. What if this camera isn't the best? What if this character isn't written well enough? And so on. For example, I had a great idea for a horror movie that would last about 5 minutes. I started working on it and I had absolutely everything I needed to make that film. But few things were causing chaos in my head. First off, I wasn't entirely happy with my shooting location. I looked for another location for a long time, but I could never find it. I often got angry with myself and simply said, "Damn it, I will never start with that shooting. Let everything be as it is and see how it turns out." I wish I could have kept that opinion and made the film, but again, I started thinking too much. What if that location isn't good after all? If you ask me today if the location I had was good, I would tell you without hesitation that it was. But then I simply wasn't capable of thinking how to get the best out of that location, which seems completely simple to me today. However, time passed and I did not make that film. I'm terribly sorry, because the idea was great and the realization would have been good enough to present that idea in a good way. On the other hand, I made several films that turned out poorly. Even thought I was confident that they would turn out great and that I had everything under control. However, I'm very glad that I made them, because I learned the most from them. I think that sometimes it's better to simply shoot something, even if it is not the best, and then analyze it. That way we learn much more than just by thinking. But don't get me wrong, you need to think, otherwise it will be just another generic film. But then, where is the line between thinking enough and thinking too much? I would compare it to playing chess. It is important not only to make the best moves, but to make them within a certain time frame. Perhaps we would always find the best move if we thought about it as much as we needed, but in that case, it is very easy to spend your whole life on one game. That's why my advice is that when you start making a film, set a deadline for yourself. It's also not bad to make it public that you plan to make a film and when people can expect it, because that will force you to finish it within that time frame. Once you have a time limit, then you will very quickly realize what things are important about the film and put more emphasis on them and ultimately produce the best result. And believe me, even if that movie doesn't turn out well, once a long time has passed, say 10 years, you will be very satisfied that you made that movie just the way it is. And yeah, that would be it for today's video. If you are more interested in filmmaking, watch my previous videos shown on screen, and see you next video. Bye!